Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Ask UWI session. And today we are going to be chatting all about optometry. So there are many of you here who have asked us some questions before, and you want to find out all there is to know about our programs, our courses, how do you sign up, what do you need to sign up, all about optometry. Again, welcome everybody. Welcome to our Ask UWI session. My name is Nataki Kerr, and I'm the Brand and Student Recruitment Marketing Manager here at the University of the West Indies, and it is my pleasure to host you all this afternoon. This session has been formulated for you, those of you who are interested in our optometry program, to ask all your questions because we do want you to sign up with us. Remember our deadline date for all of you who want to sign up and start with us in September 2024. Our deadline date is July 31st. So we want to make sure that you have all your questions answered. We want to make sure that if you had a question mark in your mind, now is the time to ask your questions. We are going to leave you with a lot of information and all our contact information so that if you have questions, you and your friends have questions, you can certainly know where to turn to have all your questions answered and to have your emails replied to and to get additional information in case even after the session, you may think of something else that you may want to know. With regards to how we are going to flow this afternoon, we really want to hear from you, and our chat is open. We have our chat support there in the chat. We have Mrs. Scipio who is there, and she is just waiting to answer your questions. So she'll be there in our chat. We also have our marketing team there in the chat. So any questions you may have about anything that you may be hearing us saying, now is the time to ask it in the chat, or we want to hear your voice. We want to hear your voice, even though you may feel a bit shy. So you can use your raise hand tool and we will call on you and you can ask your questions so that everyone will benefit from the questions that I'm sure you guys have. So again, welcome to our Ask UWI session. And today we are going to chat all about optometry. To start us off this afternoon, I do have a panel of two esteemed gentlemen who are here to discuss optometry, and they know everything there is to know about optometry, not meaning to put them on the spot, or maybe I do. But our first speaker is Dr. Kingsley Ekemery, who is the head of the optometry unit, and he, again, is very passionate about optometry, and he just is going to discuss with you just for a couple of minutes, a summary of what you could expect if you sign up with us at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, to do our optometry program. So Dr. Ekmiri, would you like to tell our prospects exactly what they could expect if they sign up with us?
Okay, thank you very much for that brief introduction. So, prospective applicants, we sincerely are very happy to have you here this afternoon. My name is Dr. Kingsley Ekemery, the head of units, UWI Optometry. The optometry program is indeed a 4-year program, and is a program that trains students to become professional optometrists. So far, so good. This program has been running since 2009, and we have been, working very hard to ensure that students get the best training. Now, what is unique about UWI Optometry? What is unique about it is the quality of experts that are involved in training students, and also the intensive, comprehensive curriculum we offer in order to ensure that our graduates are indeed international standard optometrists. So I'm going to call on my colleague, Dr. Fanon, to still talk more about the program. Dr. Fanon?
Thank you, Dr. Kingsley. So yes, as Dr. Kingsley says, we are delighted and excited to have you all here. And as our colleagues say, ask any questions. This is the time for you to ask those questions that are in your mind. Now, of course, I might be biased, but I think optometry is the best profession in the whole world. Where else do you give people the gift of sight? Something that a lot of people are worried about. If we lose our vision, what would we do? And that's what optometry is all about. Optometry is the primary eye care provider. So when anybody has a problem with their eyes, they should come to us. So again, it's the best profession in the world. The UWI optometry program is a 4-year program. The first 2 years involved us teaching you the basics of optometry science. And so you'll have many courses. Everything is based in the first 2 years on getting you to a certain level. Then in the 3rd year, you will have a mixture of lectures and you will actually see patients. So in the Cuva multi-training facility where we're based at the moment, we have a clinic where we see people every day for the most of the year. And then in year 4, your final year, you see patients nonstop. In fact, you actually visit clinics throughout the country. So you'll go to the regional health authorities, the ophthalmology departments, you'll go to private clinics, and you'll see patients here. So it's a 4-year program. And after you finish the 4 years, after you do all the exams, you get your bachelor's degree from the university, then you will become a licensed optometrist. So there's no more further exams to do in Trinidad and Tobago at this moment in time. You sign up with the licensing body. So in some careers, you have to do another year of internships. Some people have to do 6 months. But once you finish the whole 4 years and you pass the exams, then you get the opportunity to become a licensed optometrist. Now, one of the questions you may ask is, well, where can I work? What does an optometrist do? So a lot of optometrists initially, they start out to work for some of the big companies. And as you know, there's lots of big companies in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. But then, you know, there's an opportunity to open up your own eye optometry clinic. So that's something that people like. You might have a business mind. You might have a need to open your own business. That's an opportunity for optometry. But not even that. Nowadays, because of the optometry program, you can actually work in the hospitals. So some optometrists are working in San Fernando Hospital in the south of Trinidad. Some of them are working in Sandy Grande Hospital in the east of Trinidad. And that's something new within the Caribbean region. It's done a lot in the UK. It's done a lot in the United States. It's still something new here. So that's very exciting. Of course, you could work for the university. We have people here working, so that's an option as well. And then something that people don't think about is you can actually work in industry. So some of our graduates are now working for lens manufacturers. They're working for people who are manufacturing equipment. So there's lots of opportunities when it comes to optometry.
Thanks very much, Dr. Farnan. One of the things you mentioned was working in the Caribbean. Do you know that if our students, after they finish with their program, if there are opportunities for them in the West Indies, in the Caribbean?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking that. Yes, indeed, we do have many graduates working in the Caribbean region, because remember, the University of West Indies is a Caribbean regional university. We have people in Grenada, we have people in Barbados, we have people in Antigua, we have people in Jamaica. Now, some countries are a little bit different than other countries, but there is opportunities to go and work in these countries. But you know, you have the CMSE, you have the CARICOM requirements. But at this moment in time, Jamaica has a little bit of an exam one has to do. But for Barbados, Grenada, Antigua, and the ones in the Windies that way, that isn't. People just, you can go, but you have to get licensed, just like one has to get licensed in Trinidad, but there isn't any further exam. And we are working with the Ministry of Health in Jamaica to see what is happening there.
Okay, that's good to know. And I'd just like to give a special welcome to our prospects who just came in. So we have Michaela and Mariah, Renisha, Brianna. We have quite a few persons who've signed up and who are here and present. And for those of you all who came in late, just a reminder that this Ask UWI session is solely on optometry. So any questions you all need to have answered, we are here. We have Mrs. Scipio, who is there in our chat room waiting to answer your questions. Soon she is going to put the faculty booklet link in the chat so that if you all need any additional information about the program, you all could just click on the link. We will also put an email address in the chat. So if you think of any questions you may want to ask afterwards, maybe next week or so, feel free to just drop us an email and we'll be sure to respond to you guys. Also, for those of you who've signed up, we are going to share this video with you sometime this week or early next week, so that even if you want to send it to a friend, share it with your classmates. It's something that you can do because we want to make sure that you have all the information you need about optometry, because it's really a quite exciting career for you all. And we want to make sure that you have all the information you need. And speaking about all the information you need, we have Miss Rayanne Daniel here from our admission section. And she's going to summarize for us what pre-qualifications you need in case you want to do optometry. Rayanne?
So, to be considered for entry into the BSc Optometry degree program, applicants must have 5 passes at the CSEC level, including biology, chemistry, physics, English language, and mathematics. At the CAPE level, applicants must have passes in physics, plus 1 other science subject, such as chemistry, biology, mathematics, and any other third subject. We also consider applicants with an associate degree in sciences from a recognized tertiary level institution with a minimum GPA of 3.0.
Okay, thanks very much, Rayanne, and that's really useful information in case any of our prospects here, any of our potential students, and I'm just calling it into the universe, or potential students who are here because they really want to find out what they need to be able to sign up with our optometry program. Remember, guys, our deadline date for applications is July 31st, and we want to make sure that you have all your information, you're equipped with everything so that you could sign up with us online and join us here on our beautiful campus. Talking about our beautiful campus, Dr. Ekemiri, I know that, is it that all the classes are at the Hoover Hospital and Multi-Training Facility? Can you tell us about the location of most of our classes?
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Ms. Natiki. The UWI Optometry is located at Presal along the highway to Vancouver. So we have state-of-the-art facilities, well-designed classrooms for the comfort of students. Just like what Dr. Fanon said, the first 2 years are the preclinical years, while the third and the fourth years are the clinical years. Now, in the third year and the fourth years, we have our clinics, which has the state-of-the-art facilities like slit lamps, like OCTs. I know most of you might not be aware of these equipments, but these are equipments that are used to assess the eyes professionally. So we train our students in a very comfortable environment, mostly in terms of the clinical setting. Yeah. So the classrooms occupies about 30 to 40 students at a time. And we also have labs where we used to have labs, clinical labs for students. And those labs are also well fitted with the required equipment. Thank you very much. Yeah.
That's very good to know. And I know that Dr. Fanon also mentioned, you know, it's a perfect marrying of the academic and the practical, because the program has been designed that way so that you are learning and also able to help those in need, and also able to, you know, get some practical experience. Correct, Dr. Fanon?
Yes, that's it. So the curriculum has been designed that way. So we start off gently. And so, you know, don't worry if you don't know too much about the eyes at the moment and you're a little bit worried. It's a very nice course, and we take you along gently for the first and second year. And then all that learning you will put into practice in year 3, where you'll see patients, but you'll still be supervised. So again, there's no need for worry. And then 4th year, you'll go around the country in the various clinics, but you'll always be supervised. There will always be somebody there for you. So it is that nice mixture of knowing the information, and then you don't have to wait until you qualify, because we will show you how to put all that information to action, and you'll be able to help people preserve their vision and help them as much as possible. So it is a great combination of the theory and then the practical. Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent, because I know that, you know, so many persons decide to do optometry, not only because they have a love for it, but because they really want to give back to the society and help. And this is an excellent way in which we can do this. I need someone to just give some information in terms of GATE, and just to let our prospects know, is this a GATE approved program?
Yes, it's a GATE approved program. One goes through the various channels, and then for the 4 years, it's approved for gate. Yeah.
Okay, great. So again, guys, all the information is coming out as we chat more and more about optometry. And please don't be shy. I know that some of you seem to be a bit shy, Shania and Janae and Emil. So ask your questions. We are really happy that you're here with us. Ask your questions, raise your hand, and we'll be happy to hear from you. And we're going to try to answer anything that you may think of to help you sign up with us, because our deadline date is July 31st. And we really want you to join us here at our St. Augustine campus. With regards to the courses that we do, Dr. Farnan, I know you had given us a summary earlier, but are there core courses and electives, or it's just all core courses? How exactly are the courses designed?
But that's a great question. So there's all core courses, there's no elective courses. And basically the first couple of semesters, it's optics, it's biochemistry, learning about the front of the eye and the back of the eye. So again, we take you nice and gentle through it. So, I mean, for me, from day one, you're going to go home and be able to tell your family stuff that nobody would know about their eyes normally. And that's the beauty of it. You know, some courses, you might scratch your head, why am I doing this? But not in optometry. From day one, you're going to be given information about optometry, and you'll be able to know. You're going to know, you hear people saying 2020, and people wonder, oh, what does 2020 mean? You're going to know about that. You're going to know the difference between plastic spectacles and metal spectacles. People have a lot of questions about contact lenses. You're going to know all about that as well. So that's where it's from day one, you will be acting like an optometrist, getting all that information and understanding what a wonderful profession optometry is.
Thanks very much, Dr. Farnan. And I can hear the passion in Dr. Ekimiri and also in your voice as you all speak about optometry. I know that you mentioned to me earlier, you all could speak about optometry all day, but we have a couple of questions coming into the chat, and Brian, she just wants to make sure that all the classes are at Hoover, Dr. Ekimiri, or we have a mixture at Hoover and elsewhere.
Okay, so 80% of the classes are at Hoover. However, there are some classes we do have at Mount Hope, as the case may be. But currently, majority of the classes are held at Hoover.
Okay, thanks. So I hope that answered your question, Brian. And I see Cheyenne is asking, is there a possibility to be accepted to pursue this degree if my GPA is below 3.0? Dr. Farnan, you want to take that one, or Dr. Ekimiri?
But we need to know what degree. And then, as our colleague said, Ms. Daniel, that the GPA normally needs to be above 3. But, you know, there is a wonderful admissions office on campus where people can come in and ask our friendly staff questions that way. It's difficult to give a decision over this type of form, but certainly, you know, I would recommend that come up to admissions, bring all your documentation, and that way they might be able to help you. But normally, if it was an associate degree, then it was a GPA above 3. But I wouldn't, you know, discount that. Just, you know, have a chat with us. It's difficult to do it over this form, but do have a chat with us where we could answer the questions for you.
Thanks very much, Dr. Farnan. And Cheyenne, if you check in the chat, we have put the email address there. I think Mrs. Scipio, she put the email address there. So please email us and give us some more detail. And as Dr. Farnan said, we'll be happy to give you a more specific response that's customized for your particular situation. So we don't want to give you a general response and it doesn't really suit you. So email us and let us know what your concerns are with regards to the GPA and so on, and we'll give you the best possible answer that we can. We have another couple questions in the chat here because they're coming fast and furious now. In terms of transportation, we have someone in our chat who is asking about transportation around the training facility. Are students allowed to park on the facility, or is there a UE shuttle dropping off students at the facility? Because they want to know how easily accessible it is for persons.
Yeah, I mean, this is great questions coming through, so thank you for that. We have lots of parking. That's the beauty. As Dr. Kingsley said, it's a brand new facility compared to other facilities. It's brand new, and we have a lot of parking here. And then there is that shuttle that comes along. So there are opportunities to either park here or get the shuttle. And then there's also a connection between the PTSC bus that goes from UWI down to San Fernando and San Fernando up to St. Augustine campus. It can drop you off at Presal, and then we have a special shuttle that brings you from that roundabout into the compound here as well. And then just to say again, whilst there are off-site lectures on Mount Hope and on the St. Augustine campus, sometimes there is a shuttle. But also, you know, the nice thing about optometry, as Dr. Kinsley said, it is a small group and most people get to know each other. And so some people car share, you know, so there might be somebody there and you might be here in Couva where we are at the moment, and you might have a lecture in Mount Hope and everybody goes in different people's cars. So, you know, I think, and Michaela's answered that question, how many applicants do we admit each year? It's not that we limit, we take those who are got the qualifications, are very welcome. But on average, it's around 20 a year. So we find ourselves having 20 candidates a year who meet the qualification that Miss Daniel told us. So if you think of medicine and some of the other courses where there's a huge amount of students, sometimes you can get a little bit lost. Here, I know every student by name. You know, we look after each other. We say hello to you. We take care of you, making sure that you're good and making sure that mentally, physically, emotionally, you're good. And that's the beauty about it. So as I said, when there's 20 of you, some of you might have cars, and that's another way people get up and down between the different campuses.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Dr. Fan. And I actually think the fact that it's a small and tight-knit group is a benefit, because it means that, you know, you have this kind of close-knit community there. And I think that's one of the things that our students here would appreciate. So guys, if that's the kind of study that you want, if that's the kind of program that you're interested in, one way is sure not to get lost in the mix. I think that optometry may be the program for you. And I know that we have had students here who have come from Tobago to do this program. And I just, you know, if there's anyone who lives in Tobago who wants to do the program, I know that, you know, you may just have to be back and forth a little bit in terms of using our ferry service or our national airline, but it's also possible to do the program. Dr. Ekimiri, do you remember if we have had other students from Tobago who have come down to do the program?
Yeah, thank you. That was a very nice question. Yes, of course, we do have students. Currently, we have several of them with us coming from Tobago to Couva to do their program. And I think one of them currently is in the final year. So I think it's quite very possible that even students from Tobago could always easily adapt whenever they come in for the program. Yeah.
Okay. And that's a good bit of information to know. So
Yeah.
close-knit classes here. We have classes where you can combine your academic and combine the practical. You're actually getting hands-on experience literally while doing the program. We have excellent parking facilities, as Dr. Farnan told us. We have spanking new labs and everything. And more and more, the program really sounds as if it's excellent for all of you who have signed up here. I'm seeing 1 or 2 persons have just come in. So don't worry, we're going to send you this recording in the next few days. So if you may have missed the beginning of our session, you're going to hear it all afterwards. You can send the recording to a friend. Make sure and scroll up in the chat and get all the email information we would have sent before in case you need to ask any more questions and so on. So again, we are here to discuss anything you all need to know about optometry, because it's really a fabulous program we have here at the University of the West Indies, and we want to make sure that you're well armed and well equipped to sign up with us before the deadline date of July 31st. I am seeing another question here from Brianna. She's asking, is there a lot of competition with regards to being accepted? Brianna, the competition is stiff. Let me just tell you before Dr. Farnan and Dr. Ekimiri jump in here, because remember, you have to have a certain standard of grades. And I know that Rihanna from our admissions team had given us a summary of what you need. I could always ask her to just kind of reiterate for those who came in late in terms of all the prerequisites you need to sign up with the program. So let me just ask, Rihanna, I'm going to put you on the spot again. Can you just give us a quick repeat, because there may have been some persons who came in a little late. What do we need to sign up for our BSc in optometry?
No problem. So just to repeat, at the CSEC level, Applicants must have 5 passes, including biology, chemistry, physics, English language, and mathematics. At the CAPE level, applicants must have passes in physics, plus 1 other science subject, such as biology, chemistry, or mathematics, and any other third subject. We also consider applicants with associate degrees in sciences from a recognized tertiary level institution with a minimum GPA of 3.0.
Thanks very much, Rihanna. I know I put you on the spot there, but I just want to make sure that those who chimed in late have the information. Ray Marie, I hope that answered your question, because I know you were asking about if you hadn't done science subjects at the CAPE level, what other equivalent qualifications are available. So I hope that answered your question. If it didn't, just drop me a note here and I'll get the message quickly so we could try and help you out. And again, take a note of the email address that Mrs. Scipio, she put in the chat there. You could also email us right after this session, as a matter of fact. Our team is there and waiting to respond, because we want to make sure that we give you specific answers that are specific to your particular situation, because everybody's situation is a tad different. Yeah, Ray Marie, so I'm hoping you were able to get your question answered there.
If I could just say something as well.
I was not going to ask you if you had anything else to add in here, Dr. Farnan.
Yeah, so Ray Marie, also don't forget the University of the West Indies has an N1 program, and it also has a pre-health professions program. So Ms. Scipio's just typed it in there as well. And so they are intensive courses. So it's a year-long, 2-year-long, depending on how you get along. And then particularly the pre-health program is dedicated towards the pre-health profession. So as you say, there are some people who may not have the CAPE science programs. Either go back and do CAPE, or we have these wonderful programs, N1 and the PHPP program. And that will give you, particularly the PHPP, is a dedicated pathway, should you be successful, and it is quite intensive, another way to get into optometry. Thank you.
That's an excellent bit of information. And I see that Ebony is posting it there so much. And Ray Marie said thanks. I think that's exactly what she wanted to hear. I know that, you know, sometimes at the university, we use words like N1 and we say it so commonly that we forget that other people don't know what it was. But can you just explain a little bit about what exactly is the N1 program? I know you just did, but just for those who may not even know what N1 is. Yeah,
because Brianna also has a question, so thank you for that. There's one above that, which we'll definitely get back to. So the N1 program and the PHPP, the Pre-Health Professions program, are very similar to CAPE, but it's a 3-semester course. The PHPP for sure is 3 semesters, so over a whole academic year. And that then helps you, particularly for optometry, to get the CAPE physics, so, and another science subjects that way. So you'd start off in September, you have September, and then you have the second semester, you have the summer semester, you have the labs, you have the courses. And to answer Brianna's question about what grades would you need, so my understanding, you need to get over 60% in all courses to have an opportunity to be admitted into the different programs. But it is quite intensive, so do be aware of that for Ray Marie and Brianna. It's full time, it's full speed, it's 3 semesters, and that way you will, once you are successful in those courses. Now remember, for N1 and for the Pre-Health Professions program, you must pick physics, because physics is one of the strong requirements for optometry. So there'd be no point doing N1 and then you do biology and chemistry. That would just be back to square one. But it is a nice way for anybody who just hadn't had the opportunity to do CAPE. Instead of going back and doing 2 years of CAPE, you'll do 1 year, particularly of the Pre-Health Professions program. But again, it is quite intensive, just to be aware of that. So they're great questions we're getting.
Yes, we are actually, and I'm getting questions in the chat and even outside of the chat. I'm getting a question from someone who wants to know, I think they've been reading our brochure. So Ebony is dropping that information there in the chat, and they're going on to the brochures and clicking on the links. And one of the questions is about the equipment needed for students. I saw in the handbook that students need to purchase their own equipment. Does the optometry clinic help students source those, or can students order their own equipment online?
That's a great question again. Thank you for that. So yeah, definitely for you to maximize your learning experience, you should definitely buy your own equipment. Now, again, you know, I don't want people to be worried. You're not expected to buy that on September the 2nd, the minute you join. And we do have suppliers coming in who will explain the different equipment. You know, normally, like a lot of things may not be the best thing to buy online, because then you don't get the warranty, you don't get the after sales support that way. But in year one, there's an orientation week for the university, a great orientation week. And then we also have our own orientation. And that's where we'll sit down and tell you what's required, the timeline, because not everything needs to be bought immediately. Some stuff you'll have to have ready by 2nd year. Some of it you should get it by 3rd year. Some of it you should get by 4th year. So it's not a reason to be scared. And please don't let that stop you from picking optometry, because there's always ways of different things. But yes, we do help you make a decision on the equipment. And again, initially it does seem a lot of equipment, but again, this is equipment you're going to use for the rest of your life. And a lot of this equipment can last 10 or 15 years. So it really is an investment into the profession of optometry. But again, it is not a requirement to own that equipment as soon as you join. So please don't let that put anybody off.
Okay, and that's, again, that's good information to know, because as you said, someone may see this whole list and get a little bit anxious about it, but you don't need to get it all at once. And I'm seeing that Dr. Akinmiri wants to chime in here. Doc?
Yeah. So just want to add to what Dr. Fano just said. And to add to that, we also provide equipment, certain equipment students could also use internally to practice. So like what Dr. Fano said, don't get scared, don't get worried about that. Your focus, if truly you want to come in, just apply as instructed, and hopefully would definitely guide you as you progress.
Yeah, and all channels are open. And again, this is really good that we're having this discussion, because sometimes people may read something in the booklet or see something in the link and really not too sure. And at least we are able to clarify these things for them now. And guys, even if you don't want to come on the chat or ask a question, we've put our email address there for you. Just drop us an email and ask us all these little questions quietly on the side, as we say in local parlance, and we will help you and guide you along the way. I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Fanon and Dr. Akinmiri are the ones who are responding, because they seem very passionate about what they're talking about, and we want to hear from you. We really do want to hear from you. So make sure, and of course, as I speak, Ebony is just dropping all the information there before it even comes out of my mouth properly. So all the information there is in the chat. Ask us any questions you'll need to ask, and we'll be sure to answer. So folks, we just have a few more minutes. Dr. Akinmiri or Dr. Fanon, is there any other bit of information you think that we need to share with our prospects here? Because they seem quite gung-ho about the program. Anything else you think we need to share before we sign off?
Well, I would just like to say again, that's the beauty of optometry. We're a very small unit. And more than likely, as you said, one of us will be answering that email, or alongside Ms. Scipio, who does a wonderful job as the admin assistant that way. But guys, I just want you to think, we're all looking at this screen. What would it be if you could not see? And as optometrists, we are the primary eye care providers. You will have the opportunity to try to stop, because 8 out of 10 people who lose their vision, it could have been preventable. So optometry is a very necessary career, and it's a very dedicated career. And think about it, when we look into the back of the eyes, we can see people who may have brain tumors, they may have jaundice, they may have even HIV, a lot of things you can see in the back of the eye. And we don't need to cut them open, we don't need to do any operation. So it's a very nice career, a lot of flexibility again, also for the female population. It's a lot easier to have maternity leave. There's a lot of things that way. You don't need to bring your work home with you. It's normally a 9-to-5 job. And so there's a lot of advantages of being an optometrist. And that's where we're very excited to see all these questions. And of course, even when this webinar ends, it doesn't mean the questions have to end. We're always open. It's such a small unit. We love questions, and we love having students ask questions.
Thanks very much, Dr. Fanon. And Dr. Akinmiri?
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to say that we at the UWI Optometry, we are very happy to welcome each and every one of you. We are hoping that you will join the program, and we surely ensure that you enjoy every bit of your journey while you're with us in the program. Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, we have heard quite a bit of information this afternoon. It's been an eye-opener, pun intended, for all of us who are here. We found out how close and community-based these classes are. So you have personalized attention. You've met two of the key persons who deal with all our prospects in terms of our optometry program. We've sent you all the information you need. We are hoping that you are more equipped in terms of our email addresses, in terms of our faculty links, because we want to make sure that you have the information to sign up with us for our September 2024 intake. And we have dropped all that information there for you. Rayan has told us about all your prerequisites, what you need to be able to apply. And Dr. Fanon has also reminded us that, hey, even if you don't want to sign up, or it's not possible for you to sign up in September 2024, you can do a pre-program, our N1 program, and all that information has also been made available to you. Whether you're in Trinidad and Tobago or wherever you are in the Caribbean, I really think that if you are passionate about optometry and eye health, this is the program for you. This is the program for you. So again, we'd like to thank everyone for coming. We have all our attendees here, all our prospects here who are interested in optometry. Have no fear if you came in late or you missed a bit of it. We are going to make sure that we send you an email with this recording in the next couple of days. Feel free to share it with a friend, share it with your classmates. We want to make sure that everyone knows how wonderful our program is here at the University of the West Indies. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us today for Ask UWI about optometry.